Anyway, well, let's go ahead and begin. For those of you who are not with us live, thank you for joining us once again, our third and final workshop for our vision boards. And so, yes, here we are. And I will be completely honest, I have not fully completed my board yet. And that's there are a couple of reasons for that. The first is because I dropped everything. As I said, take that picture. I went to transfer it from one spot to the next, and the corner of the board hit my chair, and it literally just went right on the floor. And I was like, oh man. But it gave me the opportunity to look at things again, and I actually moved a few things around. That's one reason. The other is because I think I have too much, or my pictures are too large. So I'm trying to just figure out really what is calling to me and what it means, what's so meaningful for me. So, we'll see. But I'm going to change us again to speaker view so that we can have that recorded. Let's see here. All right. And as a review, so we'll just quickly go back. So starting back with laying our board out, we had our 4-step process. So we had collecting our items, sorting them out, separating them by either size, theme, likeness, and then our 2 piles, our must pile and our maybe pile. And I also found that from my must pile, as I went through it again, after everything fell down, there were a few things I put aside as well. I may put them back in, I'm not sure. But again, it's one of those works in progress. And then from the must pile, choose 2 to 3 images, photos, words that really are the most important to you or that call to you most. And those are what you want to place on your board first so that you have them, front and center, and your eyes will naturally be drawn to them. So at that point, we are now at kind of where we're at this morning or today. Couple of questions, and you can raise your hand if you'd like to. Have you looked at your board today with fresh eyes? Mm-hmm. And if not, it's okay. So again, you've put it aside. When you're ready, look at it again. Have you changed anything? Have you changed the layout? No? Yes? So if you're happy with it, fantastic. If you've changed a few things, fantastic. Maybe something wasn't as important to you, or possibly are there words, pictures, images that you'd like to add to it? I know that that's the case for me. And so I'm struggling with where to place items on my board. And one thing that I didn't show everyone on the first day is the list that I made of words or things that I wanted to look for. And so what I have now is, as I pulled out my pictures and my words for the board, I crossed off the ones that met those criteria and or some that weren't as important. See, yeah, I see yours too, Nicole. Fantastic. The highlighted ones are ones that I might still be searching for, or I'm debating, I have something already, but I'm not super happy with it. So again, I'm working with, 2 different kind of documents here. So again, if there are things that are still missing, that's important as well, that you look for those images. All right. So now that we have those questions and we have, our board either completed or in progress and close to being completed, we'll turn to today's focus, which is our completed board. So once you have everything laid out, you're happy with it, you've glued, taped, affixed everything to your board, the next question usually is, well, what do I do with it? I have these goals and these dreams and plans, but here it is, this piece of paper, and now what am I supposed to do with it? And this is where, now we turn from the physical process of it to the mental process of it. We'll want to place our board somewhere, ideally, somewhere that we will see it, if not once a day, but many times a day. And I think I mentioned the other night that I have mine on my bathroom mirror. I'm lucky enough where I don't have to share a bathroom with 3 other guys in my house. So I just, yeah, right, Joni? I have mine in the upper corner of my bathroom mirror. I put it up there with blue painter's tape because you don't want to use anything that will, harm a finish. But that's how I have mine up. Some people put a pretty ribbon, others have put theirs in a frame somewhere where they'll see it. A few other options that maybe you haven't thought about, bedroom, bathroom mirror, as we mentioned, above your desk. Someone, you know, a few people might have a pegboard or some sort of board behind you, you know, somewhere where you're going to constantly have your eyes on it. On your closet door, or a wall near a closet where you're going in and out all the time, or as you get out of bed, if your closet is next to you, that's an option. Others have taken a more digital approach to it. So they've taken a photo of their vision board, and some people will use it as their computer's wallpaper or your desktop wallpaper. And that way, you know, if you ever get to close a screen, or when you first open your computer or turn it on in the morning, it's there. That's another option. And then finally, another option that I've thought about is as your phone's wallpaper. So take a picture of it with your phone and you have it, you know, as your screen. So
Or your desktop.
Desktop, yeah, absolutely. So you have all of those options and you can use them in a variety of ways depending on how often you really want to, you know, have your eyes on that board. Does anyone have any other thoughts as to where they could put their vision board? Don't put it on your windshield. Not that we're all really driving anywhere these days, but you know, when the time comes, right? All right, so different options. And again, we have it in a place that we'll be looking at quite frequently. So now that we know that our eyes will be on it, this is where the process of the visualization comes in. So here's what you'll want to do with it. And there are 4 main things, and you can also, you know, modify those as needed. First is visualize the ask. So the board represents what we're asking for, what we're asking to manifest in our lives, asking our goals and dreams to happen. Now, every time we look at our board, we'll want to visualize the end result of the words and images that we've put on it. We will want to visualize ourselves achieving the goals, being in the places that we've put in there, what our new schedule might be, what our decluttered house might look like. That's what we want. We want to connect the photo with what we see as that end result, how we feel, the people around us. Imagine all of that. Yes, sorry, really quickly, someone also said as their Zoom background, just going back to another place where we could put it. Definitely, you know, that way others can say, hey, this is, you know, something she's created, and it also adds that accountability. So good, definitely a good idea. So with the visualization, I've experienced that sometimes this is actually the most difficult step for people who aren't used to the visualization manifestation process. It can be a little bit overwhelming. You've put all of the focus on creating your board, but when you look at it, you aren't really sure. Your mind is going here and your eyes are going there. And we talked about that mind clutter, you know, a few days ago. But if it's too overwhelming, then my suggestion would be to choose 1 or 2 phrases or words or photos that your eyes are drawn to that day or at that moment that you are looking at your board, and really try to visualize and focus on those couple of things. And in time, as you are getting yourself used to the visualization process, you'll start to be able to look at your completed board and then realize, okay, now I see why I created this as a whole, and this is how I'm visualizing my life to be. Does that make sense? All right, excellent. So once we've had the visualization of the ask and imagining ourselves in those situations, those circumstances, completing things and accomplishing things, we'll then open ourselves to receive the goal setting. So again, we're going to prepare ourselves and say, I'm ready to achieve these goals. Sometimes the big picture, again, can be a little bit overwhelming. So I again suggest breaking it down into smaller chunks. So more achievable goals. For example, one of mine has always been declutter. I'm a little bit of a pack rat. I've gotten a lot better. For me, it's paper. If I were to turn around my laptop right now, you guys would see the paper on my desk. I also have really neat binders on one side that are complete, but the papers on the left need to go in those binders. Again, I'm going to visualize those papers in those binders and how happy I'll feel with a clean desk. That's actually going to be my next task after we finish today. Again, smaller goals. I'm not going to think about my entire house being decluttered, just my desk right now. And then maybe the next day or two, I'll think about my closet that I started a couple of days ago, and thinking about the bags that I'll be bringing to donate and how good it will feel to not only have a closet that's organized, but the fact that I've given clothes and shoes and what have you away to someone, to people who need them even more. So small, achievable goals. So it isn't waiting for those things to happen to us, like, oh, I'm going to declutter my house. We actually want to make sure we have the intention and the purpose of doing those. That's what manifestation is about. So it's the visualization coupled with the action, with the intention and purpose behind it in order to achieve the goals. Make sense? Awesome. So third step, we want to be present in the moment and in our lives. We have our board, we have the intention, we are open to it, but yet we still have that little bit of mind clutter, worrying about, gosh, if I don't lose weight, or if I don't start cooking healthier, I'm going to, get diabetes or become unhealthy, or, my doctor's going to say I have to do X, Y, Z. Don't worry about that. Worry is, it really does play a huge role in our lives, unfortunately. I'm a worrier. Sometimes my husband says, if you didn't have anything to worry about, you would know what to do, and there are times where I really do, worry about things that don't mean that much, at that moment. And so I've been really trying to be more present in my life. And that's really that next step. So if you're more worried about what you don't have or what could happen, then that also is a blocker. It's a self-limiting belief. It might block those opportunities that might be presenting themselves to you. So it's really important to try to focus on the moment that you're in. Pay attention to the things around you, how you're feeling. If you're feeling negative, just take a moment, catch your breath. Think about leaving that negative moment, those worrisome feelings, and changing it. Visualize your board if it isn't in front of you. Visualize a goal that you might have, and think about, again, that end result of achieving it and how you'll feel. Pay attention to the stepping stones that might be in, that on the way to help you to get to that, whatever it is you desire. Look for signs, accept them as they present themselves to you. And just a quick little side story. I've really been focusing over the past few years on signs and being accepting and open. And I think all of you are Facebook friends. Yes, we're all Facebook friends because we're on a Facebook group. But I've found coins pretty much all my life. Since I was a little girl, the very first coin I found was a dime, and my mom still has it. I've found dimes for many years, and I've read up on it. I believe in it, that there are angels and signs from above. But this year, and so last year I started saving the coins that I found, and I saved them in a little shot glass, and I put them in a bag, and I wrote 2019 on them. This year, it's been ridiculous. I've found so many dimes, and I'll show them at the end of the year. But more recently, I've been finding nickels and pennies too. And every time I go out on a walk, pretty much every time I'm somewhere, I will find a coin. And the other day I went on a walk with one of my best friends, and we were walking, and she kicked something, and I said, wait, that was a coin. And she was like, what? And then literally 2 blocks later, another coin. And so I'm really open to knowing that there's, whether it's a guardian angel, whether it's a sign, it's something that is telling me that whatever path I'm on, to continue on it. literally. And I feel very strongly about that. And, you know, so I've been trying to just stay open to those things and not worry about, oh, it's a coin, good luck. I'm really looking for that, the meaning behind it. So again, just keep your mind open and live in that moment and what is going on in your life. And that's what I've been really trying to focus on is I find the coin, what am I struggling with? Or what am I pondering? And I know that when I find those coins, it's a little bit of an answer that, you know, whatever I'm doing is on that right path. So I just wanted to share that story with you. And then lastly, which kind of ties into, you know, it's the segue, is appreciate the moment. So working towards our goals and dreams can be difficult at times, and that's okay. It's a good thing. You know, they say nothing, you know, nothing good comes easy. We don't want it to be a struggle for ourselves, but we also want to commend ourselves for taking the time that for focusing on goals, dreams, aspirations that we want, and also taking the time and giving ourselves the okay to have the mindset that they will happen, to have the intention, to have the purpose. And as we start to make accomplishes towards our goals, it's okay to take a minute to celebrate them, to say, hey, you know what? I did clean out that closet, or I did eat healthy and work out for a week, or I went to my doctor appointments and everything is okay. Whatever it is, we tend to not celebrate the small things. We just look at them as everyday, you know, have to do's. And sometimes they are, but also we get through days. But if we can add some goals and positive things to it as well, that's even better. You know, right now there are so many negative things that are going on, or, you know, if we tend to get sucked into the media, I find that I call it the bad news. I always tell my husband, oh, I'm going to turn on the bad news. And then I realize, why am I even watching it? You know, it's there are lots of negative, you know, news outlets out there, but I also use social media as a way to follow positive stories, not just people, but other sites and other people who publish fun things or about pets or kids, because there is so much good out there and we just have to be open to it. So again, don't forget to take a minute to celebrate. So again, what we think about and think about, we bring about. And what I wanted to do is show you what my almost finished board looks like. And then what I'd like to ask of all of you, not only who are here live today, but anyone on the recording, when you've finished your board, if you're comfortable with it and it isn't too personal, if you could please share it and post it in the group, I would love to see the final results. My cousin, she posted hers. Hers is kind of a journal this morning. I don't know if anyone saw it. It's beautiful. She's a very creative person as it is, but I love that she personalized it with some family photos and other things. But I really appreciated that, you know, she shared her final result as well. So here is, hopefully I won't knock everything down again. I haven't glued everything, but that's my board. As you can see, kind of, let me move my notebook. So I have a few of the main large pieces, but I also have a pile right here of everything that I'm still considering placing on it. It's just a matter of where. And oh, I'll also quickly, I decided what I'd like to do this time around is to organize it by area. So I put in each corner kind of the travel places or photos that tended to kind of draw my eye towards them. And then what I'm going to do is overlap with different areas. So for example, you know, I'm just going to keep filling in my spots, because that way I will maximize the space that I have on my board, but it doesn't have to be in any specific fashion. One thing that I've found works well over the last couple of years is to turn the words sideways. And that way you can also maximize some of the open space within. So, you know, for example, I might put this one here or across or that way. And again, you know, just a final thought, and you know, we've talked about it each time, is that it's your board. Whatever you want it to look like is totally up to you. Just keep in mind that the way you want to lay it out is however your eye will be drawn to it, so that you can think about and reflect and manifest those areas once you know, put your mind to it. So Does that make sense? Awesome. Any questions, comments, anything before we wrap it up for today and for our group? All right. So if you have questions or comments or have other ideas to share, please feel free to post them in the Facebook group. There are lots of people who are open, to ideas. It seems just from my messaging with others that there are people who have never created vision boards. So it's all new to them and they're looking for it as a way to, have some fun, but also looking for ideas. And then there are those who have been creating them for years in one way, shape, or form, and just really appreciate kind of a different spin on, the way to do it. So thank you all so much. It's wonderful to see your faces live. And for those of you who are joining the recording, thank you for listening and also attending. I'm thinking about doing some sort of group maybe every month or two on Facebook, different subjects, different topics. So keep an eye out for the invite. If you'd like to join, I would love to have you join. If not, totally fine. But I wish you all a happy, healthy, and safe new year. And I hope to see you all in the new year. Take care. Bye-bye.